Dr. Valdez is about to begin their first youth mental health research project and is about to have a kickoff meeting with their youth advisory group and youth partners. They feel well prepared to share the content of their proposal, but are unsure of how to do so in front of a youth advisory group. Luckily, with this guide, Dr. Valdez will be able to build the confidence to successfully practice youth engagement and lead their project with ease of mind. Before Dr. Valdez gets up in front of youth, they ask themselves, what are the intentions for bringing youth advisors onto the project? What kind of participation are they expecting from the youth advisory group? Are the engagement activities meaningful and mutually beneficial? Will they be mindful of the do's and don'ts of youth engagement? Dr. Valdez wants to make sure they outline clear takeaways for youth to have from their presentation, and that their goals and objectives are clearly outlined and communicated. Youth engagement facilitators play an important role supporting Dr. Valdez with planning both the project and advisory meeting to be youth-friendly and effective. Dr. Valdez asks themselves, why are they utilizing youth engagement? Part of understanding the benefits of youth engagement is knowing that youth should be viewed as the experts on their own lived experience and mental health journey. Resources or research projects that are intended to be for youth can't be achieved without actually having youth directly involved. As Dr. Valdez gets up in front of their youth advisory group, they set a welcoming environment by having the same level of respect they would have for their colleagues towards their youth audience. They work with the youth engagement facilitators to run introductions and an icebreaker. They introduce themselves with their first name, pronouns, and role. They are mindful of their language, considering words that may have different associations for young people, what acronyms are really necessary, and what language is most appropriate for youth audience. Being mindful of their tone is also just as important as using familiar language and terminology. Sometimes, discussions about mental health and substance use challenges can be stigmatizing, discouraging, oversimplified, or even seem removed from the lived reality of diverse experiences. Acknowledging that the language used in research and clinical services is not always the same language that youth and people with lived experience prefer, Dr. Valdez works with the youth engagement facilitators to avoid using inappropriate terminology. Dr. Valdez also remembers to check in with youth and asks them what they need to best participate during the meeting. This can range from what resources they may need to closed captions or taking break periods between content. They may also make time in between their content to check in with youth. They ask questions to make sure their audience is still engaged and understands the material, and make sure the aesthetic of their slide deck is engaging. Utilizing thoughtful guiding questions helps to steer discussions, while enabling Dr. Valdez to moderate the conversations with little interference. After their meeting, Dr. Valdez plans to hold a debriefing session with their team. This can range from just the youth group they met with, or, if there is a larger group involved on the project, hold a team-wide debrief. At this time, Dr. Valdez can also ask for feedback to see what went well with their presentation and consider suggestions to better prepare for their next one. They ask youth-specific questions regarding the study design and presentation itself to see if there are any improvements that can be made. What are the next steps from this point? How will Dr. Valdez be moving forward with their project, as well as the engagement youth will have on the project? Outlining a clear plan that includes continued communication with their youth advisory group and consulting youth expertise as they go along will help Dr. Valdez continually practice positive youth engagement. By knowing and planning the next steps, Dr. Valdez is one step closer to achieving the goals and objectives of their project.